We were muted, but we're not muted anymore. We are live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. All of you joining us on Facebook Live, Periscope, Twitter, and YouTube, we appreciate you joining the show. If it's the first time you're watching the show, we welcome you aboard. My name is Blake Ruffino, and we're going to have a good show in store for you. I'm going to start keeping a tally of this man, and every time he has the first comment. Mr. Dylan Landry on Facebook Live, what's going on? Blaine Smith, what's going on? Ryan Mayer, Brian Thomas says he's here. Danny, what's going on, my man? Jared Smith says, what's up, LSU Nation? Brian Smith says, what up, Ryan? We have another comment that says, I think the Pac-12 already had a game or had a canceled game. They sure did. They absolutely did. Yes, and the New Orleans Pelicans are shopping Drew Holiday. I want to get into some Pelicans talk next week. We might bring on a guest for that. Who do you guys want us to bring on? And we will do that. But guys, before we get to it, as always, do us a favor, hit the like and hit the share into some groups, and we're going to have a fun show. Listen, I've been listening to this all week and all season. Is Bo Pelini the problem at LSU? I don't think he is fully, and we're going to break that down even more. And a lot of the film that I broke down, finishing started last Sunday and finished it today. So we're going to break that down. We're going to talk about that. Also, guys, I know LSU football is not looking good, but LSU baseball and basketball is on the trend with some really stacked teams. We'll break that down as well in my SEC picks of the week. But we'll get to your comments in just a second. But guys, as always, we got to pay the bills. And also, I forgot, if you're listening to us on our podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts, don't forget to rate and subscribe and tell all your friends about it. And we're appreciative with our partners over at Believe. But guys, none of this would be possible without my good friends over at GM Varnado and Sons. GM Varnado and Sons has faithfully been serving your Denham Springs and Baton Rouge area for over 62 years. With their highly trained technicians, there's absolutely nothing that they can't do. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, stroke repair, routine maintenance, tire repair, tire replacement, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992. Or go over to 2500 Boulevard. Had a testimonial today of someone telling me just how amazing they were with them, getting them in and out of their service. And if that car is just a little too beat down, you can go over to our good friend, Mr. Woody Clark, over at Robertson Brothers Ford. That's Robertson Brothers Ford, Lincoln on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. Give them a call today at 225-603-5432. That's 225-603-5432. And tell them Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you. Okay, we have a phone call. You're on live with Blake Ruffino, and Are You Serious? Who do we have the pleasure of talking to tonight?
This is Thomas from Hammond, Louisiana.
Okay, Thomas. How are we doing tonight?
We're doing fine. We just got to get these Tigers in line this year.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
But these defensive problems are ridiculous this year. I think Bo Pelini is the problem as of right now. But, yes, you have your youth. You're going to suffer some growing pains. But I think Bo Pelini is good for the early 2000s, but he just can't adapt to these offenses in 2020.
Let me ask you this, Thomas, because this has been the question that a lot of people have posed and a lot of former players have posed this week about Bo Pelini. It's a simple fact, well, he did it. It's not the spread concepts that they think this is the problem, but a little bit of the players, because in the FCS level, they run the spread concepts more than anybody. I mean, that we've seen. And look, I played at Southeastern. Thomas, do you think that Bo Pelini just forgot how to coach, or should we be looking at the players a little bit more in there too for not being able to tackle and not knowing their assignment?
You know, it could be a little bit of both. Yeah, Bo Pelini forgot a little bit, but it's all schematical now. It all has to do with schemes and everything else with these new offenses. And, I mean, you heard it from Nick Saban against Georgia after Alabama played Georgia. Offense matters more than defense these days.
Yep. It does.
So, I mean, it could be either or.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, Thomas, how do you think they correct their woes on defense?
I mean, players have to grow up, and they got to grow up fast because come 2 games from now, I mean, you're already considered a sophomore if you're a freshman. I mean, You're already halfway through, but then again, you do have a 10-game season. You are dealing with the COVID year. Everything's different and everything's harder to adapt to. But I mean, I think, if you give these players and coaches time, everything will work out.
Thomas, I appreciate the call. And let me ask you this last question and we'll get you out of here. And I appreciate the call. If it's a little bit of both, okay, because what I see too, and we've talked about it all week, is that Bo Pelini's not to fault for players laughing on the sidelines down 37. So I guess at what point do we sit back and say, well, hey, you had 4 players around Bo Nix to tackle him, and he breaks off a 20-yard gain? I guess I kind of sit back, and after breaking down the film, I'm asking myself, look, a guy I played high school football with, and Brandon Taylor, who was the number 18 on that 2011 defense, said, look, we were getting killed by a guy by the name of Tevon Austin at West Virginia. And we went over to the sidelines and say, look, we're going man across the board, man on man, and nobody's going to stop us. Do you think a little bit here that's got more to do with it than anybody's been talking about? Because it's just a simple fact, Bo can't tackle. Bo can't line himself up. And look, are we going to sit here and say that he just forgot how to teach his defense? Because quite frankly, he got a defense to lead to an FCS national championship a couple years ago. So I guess if you had to pick, and it's long-winded, but if you had to pick of one of the two, who would you think the weight falls on more right now?
Between the players or Bo Pelini?
Yeah, but between the players and Bo Pelini.
Well, you can put a lot of it on the players because, I mean, there is so much youth still. But then you bring back Damone Clark. You got Jabril Cox from the FCS, he's been pretty dominant so far, pretty good player. But Damone Clark, you can see him sitting back, hesitating to be very physical at the line of scrimmage. But, I mean, I think it does fall on the players a good bit, too. I mean, like you said, Bo Pelini, you said something about a championship here a few minutes ago, but all I know is that Bo was at Nebraska for a long time. Great for LSU in the early 2000s, but I think it does fall on the players. And, I mean, you got to go fundamentals first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the players get back to their fundamentals, and they just so much youth, I keep emphasizing it, but they grow up a little bit, you learn the fundamentals all over again, you do the little things right, and they'll be successful again.
Thomas, I appreciate the call, man. I'll save the number, and we'll always take your calls when you call in, especially for the post games and stuff like that. But I appreciate the call in.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too, man. Look, we're going to continue. Oh, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Stephen Miller is in the house. I see a lot of y'all's comments. Marvin Mackey says a player they have checked out. This is where I kind of want to go with all of this, because here's all that I see. I saw national media members, Stuart Mandel, who's a part of the starting 5 Corona Bro. All of these people nationally are talking about Bo Pelini being fired, along with some LSU people. But let me tell y'all something, and I'm probably the only person saying this, and it's okay. It's okay. And I will take my lumps if it doesn't change. And I will take me being wrong if it comes to that. But guys, I don't think you can fire Bo Pelini right now. I don't think not only from a money perspective can you fire him, but I think that you got to give him time to be able to build his defense and to build this team along with Ed Orgeron. Let me throw this out at you. When Dave Aranda came to LSU so many years ago, it feels like right now, we weren't complaining when he had a top 10 defense. Now he went from a defense that went from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and it wasn't a problem. But now that we've gone from the 3-4 back to the 4-3, why is it always a scheme issue? Guys, I'm sorry to tell you this, and I'm going to have to find a way to put this picture up in there. But when we go down, and I have my guys at AYS or my show, my network, when they come out there and they do the stats and you're missing 9 tackles in the first half, and Bo Nix has 5 broken tackles in the first half. I'm sorry, but to you media members at LSU, to some of you LSU fans, at some point, we have to put it on the players, y'all. I just keep seeing it, and for the life of me, I can't get over the simple fact that it's not just, it's all Bo. Bo can't coach anymore. You weren't saying that 2 years ago when he led an FCS team to a national title and then got beat by North Dakota, and then he goes out and gets you to Jabril Cox. Justin Owens, a former teammate of mine at Southeastern, says they won't fire Bo. Nothing will change. I agree with that. Marvin Mackey says build defense when we still had 34 players on the roster. True. That's a good point. And Ed's talked about that a lot. Guys, we're going to have to start keeping players retained. And by the way, where's his comment at? Mr. Justin Owens, the best fullback I've ever played with in the history of my life. Brandy Blake says, I agree mainly because I don't want y'all to fire him until December the 5th, which Brandy is a big Ole Miss fan. She said she's going to be starting her own podcast, y'all. I might have to get her over on the network. Sammy B, Quarantine Sammy says, we talking about time, not practice. Okay. Mike Fernandez, the man that's infamously known on College Game Day with the very great Dabo Sweeney and Nick Saban signs with the corn dog going in their mouth, says, agree. Doesn't look like to fire DC this soon. Maybe a bad choice. Got to ride it out. You got to ride it out, guys. You have to ride it out. Now, I saw my good friend, Mr. Devin Staub, in here. He said, a.k.a. the Vanilla Gorilla Miller. Yep. Stephen Miller says the B word is now a cuss word. So, word to me, basic. Tired of hearing that from Ed. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing that too, y'all. Hey, we're going to be basic. Hey, we're doing basic install. Hey, we're doing You can't get any more basic than man cover. Hey, safeties, play deep middle of the field. Everybody else underneath play man-to-man coverage. You got 5 guys to cover 5 guys. You can't get any more basic than that. You can't. Scheme my $$, y'all. Rudy Poo. I'm kind of tired of hearing it. I'm with Steven. I'm tired of hearing basic. I'm tired of hearing that, it's a scheme issue. If it's a scheme issue, then guys, why are players all around the ball carrier and not making tackles? But somebody call into the show right here, 225-435-9387, and tell me how it's a scheme issue when you have players around the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage and can't make the tackle. I'll wait. Stephen Miller says, Mike Fernandez, Mike, yeah, that's the easy, lazy option for fans to scream at. Bingo. Saying fire Bo Pelini and not breaking down what's really going on at LSU is a lazy take. I heard somebody talk about it today on on sports radio in Baton Rouge. Just fire the man already. It's a lazy take because you don't know what the hell you're looking at. Devin Staub says, let's be real. Will the Tigers have more rushing yards against Bama next week? I don't believe so. No. I don't think they will. If you're going to beat Bama, Staub, if they got any hope, which doesn't look like, and we talked about the show yesterday, I didn't know that Miles Brennan was going to be at practice and then get re-hurt. I had this whole segment of miles and miles of heart. Boy, do I look like an idiot. But now that he's hurt, you better hope TJ Finley goes out there and starts slinging that thing. And let me tell you this, and I haven't confirmed this, but I know that some people are reporting and going out there saying that Max Johnson might be one of those ones that got COVID-19. And since one of those reporters has just come into the show and I see them watching, actually find out the facts before you go out there and start putting out Rudy Poo statements like that about a kid named Max Johnson having COVID-19 before you really, really know. Don't be Rudy Poo. You get information from everywhere, but you better go check your sources. Sauces. because we need meat and potatoes. Stop doing that, dog. It's Bush League. Danny, my good friend, Danny, what's up, bud? He says, yeah, the players got to do their job. And listen, I'm going to throw this in Danny because Danny's a big Florida State fan. I never thought, and this isn't a shot, Danny, at Florida State whatsoever. I promise, my friend, it's not. But I never thought LSU would go through that. I'm like, man, they're too damn talented. Man, this is LSU. But, bruh, we going through that right now. Anyway, Eric Wright says we're going to see who's laughing when Ryan Smith and Foreman touchdown this summer, taking guys' spots. Man, I hope so. Man, if you can pull off a Corey Foreman, Mason Smith, and I mean, you do have Sage Ryan right now who's committed to the Tigers. All right. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. You have a prototypical defensive tackle in Mason Smith that is a 4-3 guy, and Corey Foreman, who, by the way, from what I understand, doesn't really want to go to Georgia anymore because they wanted him to play outside linebacker. And he's like, bump that magic. Ain't going to happen. So it could come down to an LSU and a USC. But the thing with Bo, though, that I do want to push back on him, and where I can say it is his fault, is that you would hope and pray and think that there would be some kind of progression by this point, but there's not. Jamie Fortenberry says, Blake, isn't it Bo's job to get maximum effort from his players, which he is not getting so far? Isn't it Ed Orgeron's? Nobody's saying fire Ed Orgeron. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, Ed's the head coach. And, I mean, you do have position players there, too. People, even too, Jamie, and which I agree. I know the cameras are getting a little bit crazy. So we'll monitor that. Stupid Corona bros. My phone's got coronavirus right now, I think. Corey Raymond, people want Corey Raymond to be elevated into the DC role. Well, dog, week one, his DBs got burnt for 600-plus yards. He can't communicate with Bill Bush. But I'm with you. That's on him. I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just throwing that out there. Lamar Williams. What's up, Lamar? He says on Facebook Live, first they need a defensive leader on the field that hold everyone accountable. Look, Brandon Taylor went on with Ben Love from Bumper to Bumper Sports and said the same exact thing. Look, my former teammate, I'm backing Brandon Taylor right now, and everything he said in that interview with Ben Love is so spot on. So spot on. Y'all got to go listen to it. Look, it's what I've been talking about for 2 weeks. It's the same exact thing that Brandon Taylor said with Ben Love, a former player, one of the leaders of that 2011 defense, which is arguably the best defense that we've ever had at LSU. You think he's lying? You think Marvin Favorite's lying? I mean, a lot of players have come out and said, look, but this ain't on Bo. Good question here, Blaine Smith. Blaine asked on Facebook Live, is O meddling in the defense? I bet you this good darn tootin' he is. You got Bill John. I said good darn tootin'. What in the hillbilly Natchez, Mississippi thing would I just say? I said, yeah, you darn tootin'. I ain't never said that before in my life. I got to give my own self a Rudy Poo with that. You good and darn rote tootin'. Damn. All right. I think he is, Blaine. Doug DiBiase, the Maction fan himself. He says, tough to judge coaching hires in 2020 season. Nothing has been normal. Wait to 2021. I agree with that. Blake McGraw. Blake, put your business thing in here and we'll share that into, because I know you got the business in BR and I see it right there. Put it up in there and I'll put it up on screen. If they had it, they don't have the test for 6 months. True. We need a competent safety, says Justin Owens. Sage will come into next year, and Sampa should be getting reps at backer right now. No excuse not for him to be there. I agree with that. Lamar asks, since Finley is a freshman, just have him throwing nine routes and not those boundary passes will keep him out of trouble. look, if you have any chance of being competent in the SEC, he's going to have to throw everything. Like, he's going to have to throw in the middle of the field. He's going to have to throw to the sidelines. He's going to have to throw short routes. He's going to have to throw out of the backfield. He's going to have to do it all if you're going to win games. No question about it. Brandy Blake says, from what I see on the sidelines, Bo looks like he doesn't have the ear of the players and they don't listen to him. No, they do not. Stephen Miller says, that's why I was good with the whole O-line to contact it back in August. I think talking about Corona. Yeah, because, man, it doesn't looking good. Danny says, it's all good, Blake. The Knowles fans trying to run off Adam Fuller as well. Why are they trying to do that, Danny? I never really understood that. But, hey, man. I'm also not a Florida State fan, so it might be why. It might be why. Blaine Smith says, also Josh White. Yeah. And look, if you're not going to – here we go. All right, my good friend Mr. Blake McGraw says Body Botanicals, CBD, and Natural Remedies. This is his address right here. 3115 Government Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 225-226-8292. Y'all go see my boy over in Baton Rouge. I'm going to have to come see you over there, Blake. I'll come over there soon. If Hampton continues to struggle, he may concentrate on baseball. He should. Look, Sage Ryan coming, dog. Listen, Sage Ryan's a day one starter. Regardless if he goes to LSU or if he goes to Alabama, people say, oh, well, if he goes to Alabama, he's not a day one starter. BS. Why do you think Saban's after him so much? I mean, just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Stephen Miller says, what was frustrating last game was that he had a lot of success throwing the ball in the middle of the field. Then they went away from it. Yeah. And look, Stephen, we talked about this too, and I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying I'm right. And we talked about this, about him taking some off of the passes on those quick slants. But, man, I also sit here and ask myself the same question of, well, why did Terrace Marshall catch it the game before and actually take one to the house? You know, like, that's tough for me. And you, as a junior and as a first-round pick, I feel like you got to help out your young quarterback in that scenario too. All right, guys, you can call in 225-435-9387. That's 225-435-9387. Tell me what you think. We always take your opinions here on AYS and AYS Sports Network. Justin Owen says, does the Brennan situation make it more complicated or no? Complicated how, Jay? I mean, you would like for him to come back. Maybe he could be a leader for you. But other than that, man, I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. Like, I don't think so. But Jay, that's just me, man. Gotcha, bro, says Devin Saab. Stop, what's been going on, man? I hadn't talked to you in a while. Dylan Landry says, O-line wasn't manning up. They got to him too many times. Yeah, man, they did. And as much as I defended this Rudy Poo O-line, man, I was defending the hell out of them, y'all. And they come out there and do that to me. All that offensive linemen will be playing ball in Pelican Bay if they don't be blocking for TJ Finley. Shoe program. Name that movie. God, one of the best movies of all time with Denzel Washington. A couple more thoughts here before we switch into this basketball team who are absolutely stacked. I just want to be able to see a team that comes out and fights, right? Like, I got to see a team that come out and fights, y'all. Steven says Denzel training day. Yeah. You dogs will be playing ball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you. Shoot program. Xavier Johnson says training day. Yep. It's a classic, y'all. It is an absolute classic. I saw a meme today or a thing today, a caption. Someone said, this is how Biden's acting to Nevada. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But, man, that's just so funny. God, it's so funny. Justin Owen says, just don't want this to throw or turn into a quarterback controversy like Booty Rohan. Brennan will not play for the rest of the year. It already is, brother. I mean, I think. I think it is. Soft like pudding. Yep. Sweet like juice. All right. Mike Fernandez. I shouldn't have said that about Biden, dog. That's all right. I'm gonna stop. When's the last time we went into a Bama game knowing we don't have a glimmer of a chance? 2012. No, maybe not 12. 17, maybe. No, because that was the year that Nick or Ed came out and said, we coming and we ain't backing down. Huh. I got 2013, 2014. Brandon Harris, Anthony Jennings years. You had to know we weren't winning them games. Like, did anybody really believe that Brandon Harris was going to lead us to a victory over Alabama? Like, is there anybody in this stream that just thought that? Because I sure as hell didn't. Lamar Williams says LSU need a Wildcat with 13 at quarterback. A lot of people have been talking about that too. A lot of people have been talking about that. I wonder if they should be doing that because a lot of people is mentioning that. Stephen Miller says Justin Owens. I'm just doubtful that Brennan comes back this year. I am too. Hey, torn oblique my $A too. I just don't think it's a torn oblique. I could be wrong. This sounds like a broken rib, y'all. Like, this sounds worse than what we think it is. Let it sizzle, ball, says Devin Staub. Won't happen. He's done. Gino says no deer in headlights. Yeah, he's got some head in deer in headlights. And, TJ had that little too on his first start. At least it wasn't as bad as Brandon Harris. Yeah, Burrow did say it himself in 2018 that they had no chance. Let's see. Yeah, Marvin Mackey says too, broken rib. I think Steven's on to something, man. They keep saying torn oblique my butt. Look, Stephen Miller, I'm going to use your own lingo here. I was born at night, but not last night. Either one or two things are happening right now, y'all. Either he is really in pain and he can't tolerate the pain, or number two, it's the injury's worse than what we believe. And I believe that it is. There it is. Yeah. Vanilla Ice had more hits than Anthony Jennings one-hit wonder on Hail Mary versus Arkansas. Yeah, true. That is true. One thing I want to say before we get out of here, Bo, and I'm going to stop talking about Bo and then we'll start prepping for next week against Alabama. I wonder how much he wants to come out and just show that he's like, I know that he does, but does this added week against an Alabama team? Because look, they thought that they were playing Florida a couple weeks ago and then came out with South Carolina. And listen, regardless of what we believe, that South Carolina game for defense was a lot better than I honestly really anticipated. So I'm going to really, really wonder how Bo does coming out and if he can implement some stuff. So that's just, I'll just leave it there, but we'll break that down more next week. Dylan Landry says they would have done better saying upper torso injury. Yeah, but man, I just don't know. I think they line. But that's just me. I thought they lined from the beginning. Brandy Blake says, I think they're hiding some serious injury, not worry fans. I can believe that. All right, guys, we're going to get into some LSU baseball and basketball. But before we get to that, guys, you got to go check out my good friend, Mr. John Patton over at Area Home Lending. With all the recent help from the Federal Reserve, it has pushed mortgage rates down to the lowest that they've ever been. Yes, the lowest ever. If you're considering buying a new home, saving money on a mortgage that you have now, or even doing that cash out refi, the timing has never been better. Get in touch with Mr. John Patton from Area Home Lending today. And if you mention this show, you'll get a free appraisal through the end of the month. With over 15 years of experience, I know that John will take good care of you as he's done me and so many others. 225-663-2500. 225-663-2500. Tell him Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you. Okay. Dylan Landry says boot up. All right, I was going to go baseball first, but since basketball is starting beforehand, let's go with this. I don't think, and I'm just throwing this out here, y'all. Oh, well, before we get to this, Justin says, off subject, what happens this year with Bama? I think we all know Nick Saban will make an example out of us with the Roll Tide. What bleep you will be on Coach O's tombstone. I'm sure that was on replay in the Bama's facility. 100%. 100%, Jay. But Dylan Landry said boot up. I'm going to throw this out here because even the Ben Simmons year at LSU, I don't think that going into a season that we have seen a team more talented from start to finish than the basketball team that we have right now. Guys, we've talked so much about, and this rarely happens in basketball, when you have experienced players that come back and that are on your team. But Javonte Smart's back and is on the watch list for being the best point guard in the nation. Trendon Watford, Darius Days is back. Charles Manning, who I really like, is back. So 4 guys that have a lot of playing time and starts under their belt at LSU's back. But now you have Jalen Cook that's going to get in the mix. Now you have what some believe is the best scorer in all of college basketball, and Cam Thomas that's on your team. Now, the biggest thing that LSU has struggled with basketball-wise over the last couple of seasons, and especially last year, was the big men. Now you have Brian Penn Johnson, Josh Gray, Sharif O'Neal, Josh LeBlanc. Oh, and by the way, I have a feeling that Will Wade's a little pissed off. I have a feeling that Will Wade, when he was unable to coach his team into the Elite Eight, is a little pissed off. Now, I know that we can go down this lingo of strong-ass offer and all of this stuff, but from start to finish, when you have a guy like a Jalen Cook that can come off the bench, Sharif O'Neal, Josh LeBlanc, Brian Penn Johnson, guys, there's not a lot of holes in this defense and or offense because Will Wade talked yesterday and talked about, hey, Javonte Smart's shooting the lights out of the ball. Jalen Cook is shooting the lights out of the ball. Cam Thomas is the best scorer that I've ever been around. Man, talk about Elite Eight a couple seasons ago. Dog, I've been saying it. I said it during COVID. COVID's still going on. But I've been saying it during quarantine, and I'm going to say it now with the season about to start, in 2.5 weeks. Man, if you're really wanting to get ready for an LSU season that I think is just going to blow us out of the water, I think it's going to be basketball. I think they have a damn good shot. Now, I don't know if they're going to win it, and I don't know if they're going to win the conference, but damn are they going to be really talented and competitive. And one thing I know for damn sure, Will Wade ain't going to tolerate no BS around this team. Now, the stuff that's going on right now, okay, but showing no effort and showing no will to win, that ain't going to happen. That's just not going to happen. Dude, free appraisal, that's a $400 savings. See? Mr. John Patton. I'm trying to tell you now. I'm trying to tell you. Y'all better take privilege of that free appraisal now. Tasha Thibodeau. Y'all can go to her group, The Real LSU Nation, always doing absolutely amazing things. Go to her group if you're not already in it. What's up, Tasha? How are you doing tonight? Marvin Mackey says, Blake, quick question. Why they don't use Kirkland at QB more in the red zone? Man, I don't know. I really, really don't know, y'all. I have no idea. Because Scott Linehan's your offensive coordinator? Or Shanahan, excuse me. Shanahan, one of the hands. Everybody hand, old McDonald hat off arm. Dylan says we're stacked this year. Reginald Cormier says Dickie V hates us. Man, he sure as hell hates me. God, I went after his old wrinkly butt during quarantine. Jordan Wilkinson, team is loaded with all kinds of scores. Can we play defense, though? I think it's going to be the $1.1 million question that Will Wade's going to have to answer. because we've seen over multiple seasons, guys, if my big butt, talking about playing ball in Pelican Bay, if my big butt went out there, I feel really, really confident that I can make a 3 against LSU. Do y'all remember that Vandy game last year? 3. Scottie Pippen's son was out there before the documentary, y'all. 3. I feel confident that the big boy can go out there and stroke a little something. I'm going to be out there like Draymond Green. Brick. Bradley Rice says, what's up, Bradley? Miles is done for the season. Is that confirmed, or are you just saying that? Because there was some talk about him going to get an X-ray today. Why you need an X? Let me ask you a question. Talking about Miles right quick. Why you need an X-ray if it's not a broken rib and it's a torn oblique? A torn oblique's not going to show up on the X-ray. Sam Bacon says, I'll be making my first appearance with the Will Wade American Us Gangster. Is American Gangster shirt. That's what I'm thinking. And the PMAC this year. I want to see it. Baconator, I want to see it. Do you tailgate with Mark? No, I don't. It's Upset City, baby. I saw one publication has 1 Tennessee, 2 LSU, 3 Kentucky. Yeah. Are you talking about in the SEC? I know you ain't talking nationally. I don't know. Tennessee's not good right now. Y'all better go follow New Dickie V for basketball season. Yeah, because that's your Twitter handle, Bacon. With your natty lights. Stephen Miller says, David, it's Kentucky and the Roy Rookie of the Year until they are knocked off. Yeah. True. But look, Cam Thomas, y'all, I think Cam Thomas is an absolute beast. He might score 25-30 a game. If that kid comes in here with the players that he's got around him, Trenton Wofford, Javonte Smart, Jalen Cook, Darius Days, dog. Charles Manning coming off the bench. Man, listen to me. On November the 5th, you better get ready because here they come. God bless Jesus and rest of y'all. No, Roy does not mean Rookie of the Year. Rest of y'all. You know I don't know the punctuations you be using, Mella. I got a Franklinton education. A Franklinton education. Uh-oh. I think we do have some breaking news, though, for all of you political fans, as I'm seeing it. So y'all might want to go check that out. Tasha Thibodeau, I appreciate you sharing the AYS stream into your group. Thank you very much, ma'am. That's very nice of you. And we love your group. David says, yes, that was the SEC. I don't know. But you know who else is going to be stacked? Man, this LSU baseball team is also going to be stacked. Now, listen, when we get in season, this is what I don't like to do. And I know a lot of people do it. But I don't like breaking down teams way too early. Now, I know that baseball's having their World Series. But listen to me. If you ask me, Blake, what team do you think will go deeper, baseball or basketball? I wouldn't pick because I think both of these teams are stacked. K. Doty, Zach Arnold, Trey Morgan, who, by the way, Trey Morgan, the new first baseman for LSU, apparently has been absolutely killing the ball and has a stellar glove, so good that you had to put Big K. Beloso out in left field, who also crushes the ball. Is going to be started at first. Then you have K. Beloso, Dylan Cruz, who turned down millions and millions of dollars. Will Safford, Will Helmers, Giovanni DiGiacomo, which is always fun to say, Gio DiGiacomo, and Alex Milazzo. Oh, and by the way, your pitching staff is absolutely filthy. Yo, Jane Hill's the best pitcher. Outside of Kumar Rocker, Jane Hill's the best pitcher in the country. It's not close. Like, Jane Hill is the best pitcher in the country, in my opinion. There's not a question in that. When your slider, as in college, should not do that. And the dude can run the fastball up in any corner. Jane Hill, Landon Marceau, Font Nasty, as Stephen Miller calls him, all are back. Veteran pitchers. Matthew Beck will be wearing number 8, another veteran pitcher. Trent Ventmeyer. You do have some younger pitchers like Ty Floyd that's going to be in there. But, man, this team's stacked. So I know football season has been a bummer, but it's looking to be good. Yay, Franklinton education, says Miss Beth Pettit. True. That's straight out of the good book, Dabo, the Roy bus. Oh, rest of y'all. I got you. Oh, shucks, Dabo Sweeney, huh? I got a Broadmoor education, says Brandy Blake, and don't know about Roy, what Roy means. Yeah, that's the Dabo thing. That's a Dabo. Okay. I'm gonna give you my SEC picks really quick, guys, and we're gonna get out here for the week. No post-game show because there's not a game. Maybe we'll make an appearance. Okay, very quickly. Vandy at Mississippi State. Give me Mississippi State. I think Vandy's absolutely trash, and I don't think that they'll win a game this year. I think they go 0-10. Tennessee versus Arkansas. Lock of the week. Not going to be that one. But I still think that Arkansas is going to pull it out in the upset. Give me Arkansas. Now, this is not against the spread, but this is just head-to-head. But give me Arkansas. Texas A&M at South Carolina. Give me the Fighting Jimbo Fishers. Florida versus Georgia. Everybody's picking Florida, y'all. And Ryan Mayer, I know you're going to come out of the woodwork and say, oh, Blake just hates Florida. Like LSU versus Alabama. Dog, I got to see it before it happens. I got to see it. I know that they got Kyle Pitts. I know that they got Kyle Trask. But, man, until I can see it with my own eyes, until I just sit there and I close my eyes and I see Florida knocking off Georgia, I know that everybody's picking Florida. But give me the Georgia Bulldogs. I think they're more talented. I think that always during that Florida game, they find a way. They find a way to start picking up their offense. Can the law firm of Stetson Bennett IV pick it up? We do have a Twitter comment that's not showing up on stream. Says, Blake, what about that hamburger meat you got on your chest? Okay, well, hey, man, my wife likes it. My wife likes this hamburger meat on my chest. Real men have chest hair, y'all. Real men have chest hair. Danny says, hey, Blake, does Kirby bench the law firm by the third quarter? Danny, I've been screaming that from the rooftops. Look, if you can't get offense going, Danny, it tells me two things. Either JT Daniels is really bad, or number two, not ready to go. Danny, if they're losing against Florida coming out of the second half, why not put in JT Daniels? Because if you're Kirby, you're going to have to find a way. Look, everyone's talking about your offense is Les Miles-like with a little bit more spread concepts. When people say that, it's not a lie, Danny. Look, there's no way Stetson Bennett IV, as we call him here. Oh, well, you said that the law firm. There's just no way that you can convince me that JT Daniels is not better than Stetson Bennett. But that's just me. All right, guys, we're going to call it a little short here tonight. But we have the AYS Fight Club coming up tomorrow, so stay tuned in that. They have a world champion, a belt-holding fighter that will be on with them tomorrow. But for all of you crazy guys and girls, we will see you next week. Have a good night.